Hello everyone, welcome back to Football Manager 2017 and the third part of our perfect regen experiment. If you didn't see the first two parts, make sure to go and check those out before you check out this episode. We have advanced 8 years through this player's history, so before we get to the history screen, you should maybe go and watch those videos first. But if we just get onto Giancarlo II's profile, you'll see that we have made some changes. So we've already recapped the last 8 years of his career, and at the start of the last episode we did make a few changes. We've done it again. We've put all of his stats up to 20. I know what you're thinking, they're just going to drop back down, but actually somebody pointed out in the comments something that I maybe should have picked up on sooner, and that is that you can freeze the attributes. So these numbers won't be changing at all, despite the fact that he will be over 200 current ability. He will still have 20 for every single stat when we go 4 years into the future. The other change that we made, which was in the comments, was that if we go to the the player attribute details, you'll see that I have put his weak foot to 20, which I think is here. So he's now a 20 on the left foot and a 20 on the right foot. He is perfectly equipped now to be the ultimate perfect regen, so I'm not actually sure what other changes I can really make at the end of this episode if we decide to do a fourth part, but I am very interested to see what a big difference this could make to the team, because you might remember if we just have a look at his achievements and competitions, which I suppose are the main kind of goal that we want to see him doing. You want trophies in the trophy cabinet. I don't think he's ever won the FA Cup. He's won the Champions League a couple of times, I think. Certainly made the final a couple of times. Yep, winner once, runner-up once. And he's yet to really have great success with England. He's also got one Premier League title to his name. So there's a lot of improvement that can be done there. They did win the European Championship with England in 2020. That was 4 years ago. There is a European Championship ongoing now, which they could also win. And obviously we'll go past another World Cup. So let's skip forward 4 years and see how he's got on. Well, here we are. We're in the year 2028 and he is still with Spurs. He's making no moves to any other clubs at the moment. It looks like his valuation's gone down. It was £71 million. It's now 63. He's 28 years old, but he is earning 250 grand a week. He's got 4 years left to run on that contract before he signs a new one. And as we can see, all of his stats are still absolutely perfect. So that hasn't changed at all. He's a world-class striker, born leader. And perfect in every position as a striker. Now the first thing that I can see here is that he's got 153 goals in 145 caps. He has got to be by far and away England's reckon goal scorer. I think Wayne Rooney had 52, 53 goals when he retired. Giancarlo now on 153 goals. But what we really want to see is the stats on those goals. So if we have a look at his Spurs career, we've gone through 1, 2, 3, 4 seasons. So this is the first season since we gave him the perfect stats, and you can already see 9.26 average rating. I've never seen a player maintain over sort of 8.7, 8.8 rating across an entire season, but he has done it. He's only missed one Premier League game in the last 4 years due to his perfect injury sort of situation. But 41 goals in 63 games, 24 assists in that time, but 51 man of the match awards in 63 games in his first season with perfect stats. He actually gets better the next year, 46 in 60, 52 player of the match awards. Then he gets 37 and 51, playing a few less games that year, before getting 47 in 59 with 53 man of the match performances. That season he got 32 goals in 38 games. The season before that, 35 goals in 37 games. But 36 man of the match performances in 38 games is pretty phenomenal. And his overall record now, since being a professional footballer, 318 goals, 120 assists in 455 games. That is just unbelievable. Let's take a little look at his achievements. I'm actually just going to edit forward so we don't accidentally go over anything that you shouldn't see in advance. So this is where we left off last time. He'd finished runner-up in the FA Cup, but he had won the Premier League at the end of 2024. We were a little bit of the way through the European Championships And after getting all these personal awards, England did actually win the European Championship, which is quite impressive. Best player at the tournament, goal of the tournament, and in the Dream Team. Then Spurs went and won the FA Community Shield, which is going to see an awful lot of personal awards. Then he breaks England record for most Player of the Match awards in a season with 11, setting a new record there. He gets the FIFA Ballon d'Or again. If we keep going forward, lots of personal awards. Broke the Tottenham record for most Player of the Match awards, 37. They didn't win the EFL Cup, finishing runners-up that year. But if we keep going, breaks another FA Cup award. You can see these Player of the Match awards have really shot up since giving him the perfect stats. Nobody can compete with his overall contribution on the pitch. And they do win the Premier League title for the second time. So it looks like it's made a big difference. Highest average rating, 9.25. You can see that impact there. Footballer of the Year, a few more records, Best Player in Europe. And then they win the Champions League again in 2025. Finished third in the Confederations Cup, not able to quite win it, but did win Best Player. But they do win the European International League for the first time. Retain the Community Shield, win the Super Cup. We just keep going. Most goals in a season for England at 17. Highest average rating in the World Cup qualifying, and then he wins the FIFA Club World Cup with Spurs as well. So it's a clean sweep on the competition so far for Spurs. Wins the FIFA Ballon d'Or as well. The Tottenham all-time record for most league goals with 222. He was 26 when he set that record, which is not bad at all. If we keep going through these records, they also win the Premier League, but it looks like they didn't win the EFL Cup, so there was no clean sweep, but he does break the record for the most league goals with 30, and the most Man of the Match awards in a season with 52 for Spurs. Another award in the FA Cup, wins the Golden Shoe for Spurs, and then England win the World Cup in 2026. He is definitely England's greatest player of all time at this point. Winning the European Championship and the World Cup for England is pretty impressive. Another Community Shield title in there. We will go into more detail on that World Cup later. Breaks the England record for the most appearances with his 126th cap, again at the age of 26. Few more awards, Ballon d'Or again. I think he's going to have a clean sweep on that for a long time to come. Wins the Premier League title again. We're just going to go through this a bit quickly because you can see the theme coming through. Golden Shoe winner. Just keep going. More personal records. Another Ballon d'Or. It looks like they didn't win many competitions in this break. They do win the Premier League again. Wins the FA Cup finally. I think that's the only time he's ever won the FA Cup, but it does give him the perfect sweep on medals. Also gives the Champions League title, which means they do the treble that year. Premier League, FA Cup and Champions League, matching Manchester United's record of the best sort of treble in the league in England. And that's where we sort of end it. At the moment, I imagine they're halfway through the European Championship, so we won't skip ahead to that. But what we will do is maybe just skip to his competition screen and just have a look at some of these individual sort of records. Actually, I think this might be better done by biography. If we have a look at the competitions that he's won, 26 competition wins, winning the Premier League 5 times, 24, 25, 26, 27 and 28. So after quite a long time, up to the age of 23 without a Premier League title, he goes and wins it 5 seasons in a row, clearly establishing Spurs as a dominant force in English football. Wins the European International League with England in 2025, the Club World Cup a couple of times, not too fussed about that, but there's the big one, winning the World Cup with England in 2026. That is definitely the goal we were looking for him to achieve. He's a twice champion of Europe with England as well, so that's a pretty good spell for England. Over 6 years, 2 European Championships and a World Cup. Wins the Champions League 3 times over the space of a decade in 2018, 2025, 2028. Also has 2 Europa League titles to his name, don't forget, so he's won that competition too. 3 UEFA Super Cups. Finally gets that FA Cup in 2028. That was far too long a wait for that competition. EFL Cup winner 3 times, although not for quite a long time. It's been 5 years since he won that competition. And 3 Community Shield titles, all coming in a row. Now, in terms of personal accolades, he's been Golden Boy 4 years, English Footballer of the Year 11 times, English Players Player of the Year and 11 times, top goal scorer 8 times, young player of the year 7 times. just skip forward. FIFA Ballon d'Or. 10 times he's won that competition now, going all the way back to the age of 19. He's won it every year since, breaking Messi and Ronaldo's hold on the competition, and becoming the most celebrated individual player of all time, ahead of Lionel Messi, who in this game had 7 Ballon d'Ors. Giancarlo now has 10. That is really impressive. I imagine he's got quite a few more to come as well. Won the World Player of the Year on 10 occasions, the same as the Ballon d'Or, really. European Champions Golden Boot, European Golden Shoe 4 times, European Championship Best Player twice, World Cup Best Player and World Cup Golden Boot. So maybe let's have a look at that World Cup in 2030, where he was named the Golden Boot winner. 15 goals in 7 games. That's pretty impressive. I think the better way to maybe look at this is through England's fixtures. If we have a look at these, drop back a couple of years, in the World Cup group, scores in that first match against South Africa, setting the World Cup upright. 4 goals for England, gets them the victory. Then they beat Turkey. He gets 1 more goal in there, a last-minute own goal, settling the points. And then they draw with the USA. He gets 2 goals in that game. Then against Chile, 5-0, a hat-trick in that one. 5-1 against Germany. He gets 4 goals against Germany in the World Cup quarter-final in a 5-1 thrashing. That is pretty impressive. Against Ukraine, 3-1, another hat-trick. And then against Spain, he scores again. He scores in every match of the World Cup as they go all the way to the top. An absolutely brilliant performance. If we have a look at the European Championship as well, I imagine he probably carried the team a bit there. Doesn't score in the first game, but does score in the draw with Switzerland, and then gets a goal, the winning goal against Poland for 3-2. Scores a couple of times against the Czech Republic in the second round. Doesn't score against Wales, though, in the quarterfinals. But then gets a brace against Italy in the semi-final, and then gets the brace again in the final against Belgium as he leads the team as England captain to European glory. He's done that twice. He's won the World Cup now. He is just an absolutely incredible player. There's absolutely no doubt about that. But we kind of are at that point that you get to sometimes in Football Manager where you're winning absolutely everything, getting all of the goals, and really it's not a surprise when he wins the big competitions. But he is still only 28 years old. In theory, we could do another couple of episodes before he likely retires. So let me know in the comments and drop a like on the video if you would like to go 4 more years into the future, or maybe I should skip a bit further ahead, go straight to the end of his career, whenever that happens to be. Let me know in the comments what you think I should do. But that is going to be it for this episode. I know you guys have been enjoying the series up to now, so drop a like on the video if you are enjoying it. Let me know in the comments, and obviously please do subscribe to the channel if you want to see more experiments like this. Also let me know if you've got other ideas for experiments. I love the Football Manager experiments, so do let me know if there's things you want me to do. But until next time, see ya!